All right, good evening. We'll go ahead and get started tonight. And first order is, Renee, please show all board members present. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, no board salutes. And so I guess the next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda tonight? Mr. White, didn't you have one?
Yeah, on personnel, I would like to separate the classified from the certified for a separate vote, please.
All right. All right. Anyone else? Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and approve the agenda, breaking out the classified versus the certified. So, all in favor? All right. 7-0. Thank you.
Motion.
I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. All right. We'll try that again. All in favor? Thank you. Been a while. That's why you're here. Keep me straight. All right. Next item is the approval of minutes from previous meetings. We'll take all those together, executive, regular, and special meeting. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
And thank you, Mr. Satterley. All in favor? All right, 7-0. Thank you.
No, I'm abstaining. I wasn't here
I'm
at the
sorry.
last meeting.
I'm
so
sorry.
not going to,
Yes. All right. So Mr. White will abstain. So we are 6-0 and abstention. All right. No public comments tonight on agenda items? No? Okay. All right. So the next is the consent agenda. We have 9 items tonight. We're going to break out the personnel report number 5 into certified and classified. So if it's the board's pleasure, I'd like to go ahead and take all the items with the exception of the classified.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley, and second, Ms. Gilkey. Questions, comments? All right, all in favor? All right, 7-0. And then the next is the classified report. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Questions, comments? All in favor? Got 6-0 and 1 abstention. Thank you, Mr. White. All right. Next item is gifts to buildings and.
certified.
I'm sorry. Certified. Certified.
We did classified, but we didn't do certified.
Right. Thank you. Not on my game tonight.
I think we did the certified as part, you did
I
the
thought we
certified.
didn't. Okay.
Yeah, we
as
did
part.
certified already.
I apologize.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought the same
I
thing.
thought we broke out 5
I heard him say that. It was-
Okay, I misunderstood.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to move to gifts to buildings. So, Mr. Satterley, would you be so kind as to?
Since my iPad has no power, you know, you got to plug those into the wall, not just into this. So I got to print out a copy. Yes, thanks to Miss Kraft, I have my copy here. And it looks like once again we have a litmus of donations from everyone across the district. The one I wanted to point out, really more than anything, was that box tops. If we could only get every parent in the district and grandparents to turn those in, I can't even imagine how much money we would get. That's just one school, $2,800. So we thank the community, and if you spread the word, cut those box tops off and send them in. But thank you. Motion to accept.
Second.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hall. All right. All in favor? 7-0. Dr. Millen, did we need to make any announcements on the personnel report tonight? No. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Going into action items. Number 1, renewal of contract for agent of record services. Looks like that will be, I guess, Dr. Millen tonight?
Yes.
To walk through that. Okay.
Thank you, Board. As you know, we have employed an agent of record for our school corporation for many years. That individual has been Edward Culpepper Cooper. It would be my recommendation that we offer him a one-year contract for the next year. It's really a renewed one-year term. There are no changes, adjustments, or additions, and all the terms and conditions remain as stated. The contract has been reviewed by General Counsel Mrs. Lewis, and so it'd be my recommendation for a one-year contract for Edward Culpepper Cooper as insurance agent of record for the next year.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kraft.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, comments? Okay, well, I have just one comment. And I'm sure Mr. Cooper's been doing a good job, but I really feel like this needs to be bid out. I would like to see it bid out, and so I don't believe I'm going to be supporting that recommendation tonight. So, all right. Anyone else? All right. All in favor? I'm sorry, hands up, please. All right, be 5, and all opposed? White and Pavey opposed. All right, next item is the Prosser Career and Technical Education Cooperative Agreement, and
I'd be happy to.
Okay, thank you.
Board, we are fortunate as a school corporation to have an affiliation with the Prosser Career Education Center. As you know, they're officially located in the New Albany-Floyd County school system, but we have a number of students from our school corporation that have benefited each school year by attending the Prosser Career Education Center. And so I'm recommending approval of a cooperative agreement between Greater Clark and the Prosser Career Education Center. This is an agreement that is consistent with past agreements and is really a formality.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Thank you, Mr. White. Any questions, comments? All right, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next item is the interlocal agreement and resolution with the City of Charlestown, Indiana, for FM license and radio station. So I think, Ms. Lewis, you're going to take us through that?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you. Good evening.
We're really excited about this, and if you will remember, on or around the 5th of November of this past year, the board approved our application for an FCC low-powered FM frequency with the intent of developing an FM radio station for the benefit of the students in all of Greater Clark, but the goal is to house the FM station out of the Charlestown High School location. And when we started working on this, we found out that the City of Charlestown had also applied for a license. And so then we began meetings with the City of Charlestown and working with the mayor, and came to the agreement that we would enter into an interlocal relationship with the City of Charlestown for partnering on a joint agreement for just one license to be considered in the City of Charlestown, and that is Greater Clark's license. And in doing so, the legal manner of accomplishing relationships between two governmental entities is the passing of a resolution and an interlocal agreement. So before you this evening is the resolution. Also, kind of at the last minute, after review by legal counsel for the city, we got the interlocal provided, and I don't know if you've had a chance to review it. It's pretty standard terms and conditions. The agreement would be in force for a 4-year term with an automatic renewal of another 4 years, unless there's a 60-day notice in advance of the end of the term. And that's just to make sure that there's consistency over the years of the management of this station. We're just delightedly excited. We think this is a great thing for the students. It's also, we will work with the constituents of our different school communities for broadcasting opportunities, and we certainly recommend your approval this evening on behalf of this resolution and the local agreement.
Okay.
We'll move to accept.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Do we have any questions, comments?
I just have one question, Sandy. Since we just got the interlocal agreement, has the city council voted on it yet?
They have not.
Okay.
They have not voted on it yet.
Okay.
they've had some other items on their plate they've been dealing with, but it will come before them at the next meeting. So certainly ours is contingent upon their approval of the agreement. Both parties have to sign off on the interlocal, but we thought we'd go ahead and step out in front and let the city know that we very much are supportive of this partnership.
Well, excuse me, I was just gonna say, I don't foresee any problem. Let's go, because I spoke to some of them too, and they had already applied, like you said, for this too, so it's kind of a win both ways.
Then you're going to write them a letter and say that we passed this tonight, right?
Right. I mean, they'll know almost immediately, because we'll let the mayor
Okay.
and mayor's attorney.
Just so they know, and that makes their job easier as a council.
Dr. Mellon or Sandy, if we pass this tonight, and if the city okays it, which I believe they're going to, what date are we looking at? When can we go on the air?
What will happen is, and the reason this is so vital, is that when you have two entities competing for the same frequency, there's a long process involved to determine who would get the frequency. So the fact that the city of Charlestown would back away and not apply for that license, then it gives us the opportunity to move forward. And by moving forward, then, we believe that we can be broadcasting, have students ready to go by the start of next school year. We'll have to build some studios. We are prepared financially to do that. We will have to purchase a transmitter, a tower, antenna. We would predict that the overall cost of all of this, the studios at each of 3 high schools, the transmitter to the tower, will be about $60,000 total, and which compared to a TV studio is really not very much. The majority of the programming will come right out of Charlestown. That's the home base. The broadcast signal will cover about a 15 mile in diameter range, so it will definitely cover Charlestown. It may get to the northern part of Jeffersonville. The goal here is we could not get frequencies in all locations. There just weren't enough available. So the Charlestown, our goal is to give students a real experience. As you know, we're trying to make sure every student is ready for some kind of a post-secondary opportunity. So our goal is that Charlestown High students, that'll be the home base, but if there are some Jeff High students or New Washington students, that they could also have some experiences and improve their own skill sets. So it's a start in the right direction, but by the start of next school year is our goal.
You need a motion?
Yeah, we already have that.
Yeah.
All right, ready for a vote? All in favor? All right, be 7-0. Thank you. All right, next is the PESG substitute contracting agreement.
Yes, and again, we are recommending approval of a one-year contract for substitute services with PESG, and we're just very excited about the relationship that we have with PESG. They've done a great job providing sub-services for our teachers, our custodial maintenance department, our cafeteria workers, and our para-educators. There's been times when we've known there were going to be significant staff absences, and PESG has really worked to try to get the fill rate up as high as they possibly can. And they treat their substitutes not just as employees, they really treat them as family type of members. They had an end of the year picnic for all of the persons that had subbed in Greater Clark. They gave out gift certificates and recognized them, and had little nominations for employee of the week or employee of the month, and I had the opportunity to attend the event down at Heron Park, and the subs just really seemed appreciative and really enjoyed it. And I just think that they're doing a great job for Greater Clark, and there's no increase in their rates. And again, this will just be a one-year contract, certainly with an opportunity to renew it for another year if in fact we continue to be pleased with their services. But their rates don't change, and their rates are the best that are going in this area right now. So we're recommending that the contract be approved for a one-year period.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hall, I think I heard. All right, any questions, comments for Sandy on PSG? All right, all in favor? It'd be 7-0. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Looks like our next item is the Policy 5150, Restraint and Seclusion. This will be a second reading tonight, so we'll be taking action on this.
Yes, we would like for you to approve this, and I'm just here to see if you have any questions or concerns.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Any questions or concerns?
I would just like to talk with you later on some things that I learned at the conference in Indianapolis. Thanks.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is the 2014-15 transportation rules for students riding vehicles.
I'm back.
You're back.
This is something that we are asking the board to approve on an annual basis, and there haven't been any changes this year, but we always just like to make sure that we have it in the a record of this in the minutes, that the board has had the opportunity to look at the rules and regulations for students that ride our vehicles, so that if we get questions or concerns from maybe angry parents, we can say that the board is in support of the rules and regulations. And we think it's very important that persons that have their children riding our vehicles know that they don't have an automatic right to get on a vehicle if they have a concern or a complaint. That was something that was added in a year ago. We also have the electronic monitoring surveillance that we've been working on upgrading, and we're asking that you just approve the fact that we have this in place. We ask the parents to sign off on this, and it's served to be a very useful document to us when we have controversy.
Okay. Very good.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Any questions, comments? All right. All in favor? It'll be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item is transfer of a bus contract route. Dr. Deichel is joining us tonight.
Yes. Barbara Benjamin, owner of school bus Route 16J, has submitted her intent to transfer her school bus and her school bus route number 75 to Kelly Westerfield. This will be for the remainder of her 2 years that she has left on her contract. So we're asking board permission for her to transfer.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Dr. Deichel, same terms and all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's the same.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments? All in favor? 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Property and casualty insurance renewal.
Yes, our current property and casualty insurance has expired on July 1st, so we actually extended it pending the approval tonight. Nice Lukens has quoted our insurance coverage with other companies, and the consensus was to stay with our current carrier. Consolidated Insurance Company, which is formerly Liberty Mutual, which was formerly Indiana Insurance, which I don't know who they were before that, but it seems like they're always buying somebody out. At their low quote of $582,275, which is a $19,960 increase over last year's premium. I can go over the individual lines if you want to see that. Property increase $3,381, inland marine $353, crime decrease $79, general liability increase $6,395, commercial auto $2,155 increase, and the umbrella increase was $7,597. Now here is what I need to ask the board. We have a $5 million umbrella policy. We can get an additional $5 million for $7,935, which is a great buy, considering our initial $5 million cost us $34,155. So to double it, it's only another $7,900. So I'd like to actually increase our umbrella coverage to $10 million with board approval.
Liability umbrella.
Yes.
I move to accept that.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Questions? Further questions? Comments?
I just make a comment that I think $10 million is prudent in today's litigious society.
Yeah.
And that cost is
Well, on the last paragraph there, I didn't bring that up yet. Nice Lukens offered 2 other policies to us, and I think this is important that we look at both of these, and I'm waiting for a quote to come back from Nice Lukens on that. One is a cyber policy, and that would be if anybody hacked into our system, got into payroll, got everybody's social security numbers and things like that, like they're doing into Target and all these other places. I think that would be a good policy if it's not really, really expensive. And then the other one is an environmental coverage, and that would protect us against mold, contaminated drinking water, PCBs, containing material, Legionella, carbon monoxide, just to name a few. So as soon as I get those, and if they're not too expensive, I may come back to you and ask you to add those policies to our coverage too.
Okay. So, Mr. Satterley, that included adding the additional coverage on your motion, did, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Questions, comments, further?
I'm confused what you just said. It includes...
Bumping the
The
5 to 10.
$5 million.
Oh, 5 to 10, not
Right.
the last...
No,
No,
I'll come back
no,
with
no,
those.
no.
Thank you.
Right, 5 to 10. All right. All in favor? 7-0, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is the 2014-15 River Cities Mentoring Consulting Services. So, Ms. Schnepp's going to take us through that?
Yeah, this is just a renewal. It's a renewal with I just lost my place, River Cities, and that's Janet Turner. She was a teacher in Greater Clark, and since her retirement, she has done a lot of work for us, working with kids who sometimes have behavioral issues that need services during the course of the school day on a homebound basis, and she goes in and works with the students, sometimes an individual student, sometimes with groups. She does an excellent job, and this is just renewing that.
Okay. All right.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments?
Ann, like how many hours are we looking at here?
How many hours? It really varies throughout the school year. It may be 5 hours a week. It could be 10. It varies depending on how many kids we have in need at that time. Mostly the kids that she works with are kids who start out the school year and then maybe have some behavioral issues and leave school for a period of time, and she'll work with them more individually, and then we move her back in.
Is this at one school or
No, it's
multiple?
all over the corporation.
Is there any cap to that, the number of hours that she would work?
Within her contract, you know what, I didn't pull it up right before I
I'm not
walked in
sure if
there
I saw
before
that or
you.
not. It may already be in there, so.
Can't remember.
I'll tell you the reason that we use her is typically I use our teachers because they're our first priority, but for some kids who we need to provide the services to during the school day, I used to have several options. She's like my one option currently.
Yeah, I don't think I see
I don't
anything
think
about
we
a
have a limit on
cap
that.
on it. Okay. All right, all in favor? 7-0, thank you. All right, next is the 2014-15 ISB-ISD contract.
Yes, this is our joint service agreement with several school corporations. Actually, we start down here and move straight up 65 and catch every school corporation along the way, all the way over to Tell City and Du Bois County. And we provide the transportation. And next board meeting, I'll bring you American Coach contract with this to transport our kids up to the school for the blind or to the school for the deaf. The payment of this is based on how many kids we have in the program. So if we have 3 kids, then we pay a proportion, and then each district along the way pays a portion. So it works out well. We are the LEA. We've been that for the last 3 years. We sort of rotated around. So in a couple of years, we'll move it on to another group.
Okay.
So move.
Thank you, Ms. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments? All in favor? 7-0, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the approval of supplemental grant for WIDA English Language Development ELD Standards Implementation. That's a mouthful there, Ms. Hartledge.
Yes, it is. Recently, the state has adopted new college and career readiness standards, and they have also adopted these new language standards for English language proficiency entitled WIDA. It's a transition. Our 2003 standards were for reading, writing, speaking, and language, and now they are more aligned to the new college and career readiness standards. The state has offered a grant in the amount of $2,257.62 to help supplement our training of staff members. We have several teams that are going to Indianapolis this summer, and then they will serve as trainers to train other teachers within our district. So we've been awarded that money to use for that purpose.
Okay. So, motion to accept money?
Thank you. It's a stretch out there, right, Mr. Satterley?
I'm grasping on that one. But
all right, thank you. Was there a second on that? Ms. Kraft, thank you.
I do
All
have
right.
one.
Go ahead.
You guys.
No.
Question was, who applied for the grant? Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, all in favor? All right, B7-0, thank you. Last item on the agenda is Scott County Economic Development Corporation, Adult Ed, and GED agreement.
I will handle that, Board. We are fortunate to house a GED program at Clark County Middle High School. It's a partnership as part of the Region 10 GED Adult Basic Education Service. Scott County, as part of the region, they provide $30,000 in funding to help support the teaching position. So it's not a clean 50-50 split, but we pay for a teacher, and Scott County pays for $30,000 of that cost, so about 40-some% of the cost of the teacher. So it's my recommendation that we approve the agreement with Scott County Economic Development Corporation to fund the 4-hour GED teacher to be housed in the Clark County Middle High School, and this is a renewal of an agreement approved last year.
Make another motion to accept more money?
Second.
Mr. Satterley, and thank you, Mr. White. You guys are quick on the trigger tonight. So, all right, any questions, comments? All right, all in favor? B7-0, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is reports requests. So, Mr. Hall, do you have any requests for reports?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Perkins, Mr. Satterley.
No, sir.
Ms. Kraft?
Just that several of us went to Indianapolis to the meeting, and I learned way too much. I have all kinds of stuff here, and my head is still going. So if I keep putting things out there and you don't know where they came from, just okay.
So you're not going to cover us all on it tonight, then, right?
No.
Okay.
Not like they did us.
All right.
It'll be a little bit of a time.
All right. Mr. White?
No, thank you.
All right. Ms. Gilkey?
I do have an ISBA report.
Okay.
For those who may not know yet, an announcement was officially made yesterday that the replacement for Dr. Frank Bush is Dr. Brian Smith, who currently serves as the superintendent at Hamilton Southeast. He's been in education over 30-something, maybe 40-something years, served in a lot of different roles, is very diversified, has been very successful at everything he's attempted, and we feel really, really excited to have him take the helm for the next 3 years at least. I'm looking for good things. He's excited about working with our board. We all got to meet him Monday evening before we kind of interviewed him before we made our official vote. And then he accepted the terms of the contract on Tuesday morning. So it's official. Dr. Brian Smith will take the helm of the ISBA as executive director on September 2nd. He's a very good candidate. So I urge you all to reach out to him. Several people got to meet him, talk to him at the conference, but reach out, send him an email, call him, welcome him. You know, if you feel so inclined, he's very approachable. So, also, I just wanted to let you know that last night the nominating committee of the ISBA met, and they officially have slated Bill Wilson as the executive committee first vice president for the next year. And they, I don't know why, but they did slate me to be the Region 10 director for the next 3 years to fill Bill's vacancy. So, pretty excited about continuing in that role, and looking for great things from the state level. So, just wanted to give you that.
It's exciting. We have representation from our own board, and then we have representation from a previous teacher in the corporation. So Greater Clark's well represented up in Indianapolis. All right. Well, thank you for that update. Okay, Dr. Millen, I don't think we had any public comments on non-agenda items tonight.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll finish it out with board comments. So, Mr. Hall, we'll start with you.
Yeah, a couple things. I was out of town, couldn't make the last meeting, but I did have a chance to attend a couple graduations, Jeffersonville, New Washington, and as always, we got good people doing great things at those schools. Great job, and I'm sure the same happened at Charlestown for their graduation. Second thing, we approved a new basketball coach tonight at Charlestown. I'd like to welcome Jason Connell. He's a teacher at Charlestown Middle School, and he's going to do a great job for us.
Great. All right. Thank you. Ms. Perkins? No. Mr. Satterley?
No, sir.
Ms. Kraft?
Well, Friday I have to go back to Indianapolis for the legislative committee, so I will let you know that will even be separate from these other things that I want to do or tell you. So I'll let you know more about that later. Anyway, we will discuss laws and rules that will go before the General Assembly in the next session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. White?
No, thank you.
All right. Ms. Gilkey?
I want to say I really enjoyed our trip to the summer conference. Got to spend some unique time with some of the board members that, we don't normally get to spend social time. And it's nice to get to know each other better. Dr. Mellon, thank you again for driving us safely there and back.
My pleasure. My wife appreciates it too.
I see some students, and I just want to make sure and welcome you all, and thank you for coming. It's nice to see students here, especially when we're not having any special recognitions or anything, so I'm glad you all are here. Come back anytime. Also, and I don't know if there's been an official announcement or not of our new GCEA president, John McLaughlin. So I want to say congratulations. And
welcome, John.
I guess this is your first meeting in your official role, so all right. So what's left of summer, guys, enjoy it, okay?
All right, well, to finish out, as board president, it is my pleasure to announce the results of the 2013-14 annual performance evaluation for Dr. Mellon. Dr. Mellon's evaluation was based on the evaluation tool developed by the Indiana School Boards Association and the Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents. This tool was designed for consistency in the evaluation of public school superintendents by school boards across Indiana. By board consensus during the evaluation process, Dr. Mellon received a highly effective rating based on the terms of Dr. Mellon's contract. The receipt of an effective performance rating entitles him to the addition of 1 year to his existing contract without further board action. As such, Dr. Mellon's contract is to be extended to June 30th, 2017. So congratulations, Dr. Mellon. We had a session with you earlier, and just most appreciative of, I guess, the work that you're doing and the way you're getting us out there and doing great things. So congratulations, and we look forward to 3 more years. So.
Well, thank you very much, and board, I appreciate it, and I will continue to say this. I think the great thing that's occurring in our school corporation is we have a board that is working very well together and has been a great team working with our administrative group, and that goes all the way down the line as long as we are all working together to benefit our kids, and I believe that's happening. And not everyone will always see eye to eye on everything, but I feel like we're really doing a good job working together. So things can't happen without your support, and I appreciate your evaluation and your confidence.
All right. Well, I guess the next item on the agenda is adjournment. So,
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins, and thank you, Mr. Hall. All right, all in favor? All right. Good night.